This is Precious, and welcome back to my channel. Hello, friends. This is Precious, and welcome back to my channel. It is not good morning, it is good afternoon. Today, I am going to bring you unedited to my 1 hour overtime. Come with me as I work for 1 hour. And then, because this week I have committed again to work for 5 hours every day until I reach my 5 hours overtime commitment. Um, the company has asked us to if we would like to do an overtime, and I said there's like I think 10 hours, 20 hours, I am not really sure, but I committed to 5 hours overtime for the week. And this project that I am currently doing is will be ending next month, April. So I said, okay, I will commit for 5 hours overtime every week instead of like 10 hours because 10 hours is too much. I think I can do a little extra 1 hour every day, but not more than that. Maybe if I want to, I would I would want to. But right now I just want to sew or have fun, relax, chill, watch TV, or do something after work. So, yes, after 9 hours of work, then I can finally do whatever I want. I can sew, I can, um, yeah, I can have fun. I can watch TV. And now the series that I'm watching is from Netflix. It is a Korean TV series that when life gives you tangerines. I love that. I mean, Mark and I have been watching that. I think we are on episode 8 or 9. It is so good. That one is really good. We liked it because um, the husband in that series really is like my is really like Mark. So I just we like watching it. It's also heartbreaking sometimes. There are stories there that will make me cry a lot, but it really is a good TV series. It's been a while watching a good K drama series. The last time that I watched that was really good, I think, was The Glory. So this one is really good. Okay, so we have, yes, so I'm bringing you to my 1 hour overtime. It's actually 4 and we'll be ending at 5. To be exact, it's 4:04 right now. And I hope my camera will not die and I have enough memory to finish all these, hopefully. All right, so um, in this chart, um, the patient has PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder, bipolar 2 disorder, ADHD, and cannabis use disorder. So, as I can see, I can tell that there is only one condition um, that is reportable, and I think that is the bipolar 2 disorder. For bipolar 2 bipolar 2, the code for that is F3181. PTSD does not risk adjust, that is F4310. GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, F41.1, that does not risk adjust. ADHD is F90.9, that does not risk adjust as well. Okay, what else can we find here? The patient has borderline personality disorder. I think this one risk adjust disorder, personality borderline. Yes, it does. And the code for this is F60.3. All right, we have 2 codes to report here. Let's move on to the next one. Thank you so much to everyone who asked questions, commented, and something. If there are other questions you have, just comment, put them in the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer them. I'm trying to keep up with your comments and questions. So, yeah. All right. We are in the same chart, but we are in a different encounter, and the patient has the same conditions: PTSD, GAD, bipolar 2 disorder, ADHD, and then yes, we only have 2 conditions to report here, and that is the bipolar disorder. F3181, the bipolar 2 disorder. I don't actually see the personality disorder. So, oh yeah, there is personality disorder. But it doesn't say, it doesn't specify as borderline. So let's see if personality is just enough. Personality disorder is F60.9, and yep, that risk adjust. Okay, we can move on to the next one. What else, or what other content do you want me to do, guys? Because this is the only thing I do. If I'm not sewing, then of course I'm working. So we have bipolar 2 disorder, F31.81, borderline personality disorder, F60.3, and actually there is an added condition here, the cannabis dependence. So if we index that, we say dependence and then cannabis, and then the code for that is F12.20, and that risk adjusts. I don't see other condition here. Let's move on. This is the 4th encounter for this chart. So again, there is bipolar 2 disorder, borderline personality disorder, and cannabis dependence. But we'll make sure, let's go up. And currently it will be uploaded next week, but I am currently working on a week and a life of a medical coder working from home, because you are interested in that kind of content. You like to see the routine, and a lot of you are actually looking forward to become a medical coder. So the routine of medical coder, seeing me doing my daily routine, inspires you to continue doing your study. So I'm happy to help. I'm happy to show you the routine. Okay, so in this encounter, we're only having F31.81, which is bipolar 2 disorder, but we'll make sure, and let's go up and see other conditions. Okay, the patient has also personality disorder, F60.9. So there are 2 conditions. So my dog just heard a dog. So my dog just heard a dog barking. So he's now in a panic mode to go outside. All right, let's continue. This is the 1, 2, 3. This is the 6th. This is a small chart. This is actually just 45 pager chart, and I'm on my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th encounter for this chart. This is the 7th encounter. When you are actually working, when you are actually doing overtime, for me, it goes so fast, especially in the afternoon. Time goes faster in the afternoon, I feel like. So I don't mind doing another hour of working. So we have here bipolar 2 disorder, borderline personality disorder. Let's look for more. Wow, this chart is small, but oh, there's a lot of meat here. Okay, let's move on to the next encounter. Okay, yep, we are done with this encounter, with this chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 encounters. And let's move on to the next one. Okay. The name and the date of birth match. Now let's proceed to coding. Okay, we have here COPD with acute exacerbation, that is J44.1. And the patient has acute non-recurrent pansinusitis. And that doesn't risk adjust. Do we have other condition? Hypertension, migraine? Nope, they are not reportable. So we only have one condition, but I have to make sure that I am doing my job. Okay, if you see my previous vlog, I am using a new camera, so I'm still like doing the settings correctly, and now I finally found the setting that is used in this camera, and it is the vlog setting. So now you will see that the color of the camera is now perfect. I mean, natural. I've been using different angles or different presets. I'm not sure, but when I was looking for it, I was just like, I don't know what to do. So it's like, what do you call that? Researching online, and then I finally found the settings and says, oh, that there is a vlog settings, and that's what I'm using right now. So, yep, it's working now. Okay, let's go back to the chart, and I can only see there is one condition, which is the COPD with acute exacerbation. And that is J44.1. A lot of you ask me, why am I not using books at work? It's because we do not use physical books. We have like a software where we have to just type it and then find the index the condition. Because if I will have books here, then it will be more difficult. I think it will be more time consuming. Yes, there is only one condition, and that is it is signed, and yes, and that is COPD J44.1, because you say you will just have chronic obstructive lung disease. You say disease, lung, obstructive, chronic, and then with exacerbation. And that will lead you to the code for J44.1. Okay, this is a small chart. We finished one and we're going to move to the next one. This is my third chart. I will be finishing this third chart and I will go back to the big chart that I was not able to finish during my regular 8-hour work time. So after this, I will go back to that and finish that because I only have 1 hour. So we have here the name and the date of birth. In the past medical history, the patient has asthma, and then there is a current medication that supports that condition is current. So we can code that one. And actually, in the assessment, it was more specified as moderate asthma with acute exacerbation and specified whether persistent. Actually, that doesn't give more specificity. It just said moderate asthma. If it says moderate persistent asthma, then we can go for J4540. But it just says moderate asthma. So we cannot go specific to that, but we can only code for J45909. But it has with acute exacerbation, so we can code for J45901, asthma with acute exacerbation. Okay, here we go. Are we missing other conditions? I only see one, which is the asthma with acute exacerbation. And the patient is actually in the ER complaining about the exacerbation of the condition. So yeah. And the patient also has albuterol at home. Okay, so yep, we can report that J45901. Do we have other encounters here? Let's see. Nope, I don't see any other conditions. Okay, now we finished 3 small charts, and now I am going to this 500-pager chart. I already started this. I finished, the last page was 76. So let's continue. And this chart format is the one that I don't like the most because it really makes me feel that this is a very large chart. They have very small or tiny, what do you call that? Tiny font. So it's making me feel like it will never end. Okay, so let's go and code these. So in the assessment, the patient has acute on chronic hypertensive heart failure, HFrEF. And the code for that is I50.23, acute on chronic systolic heart failure. The patient also has non-ischemic cardiomyopathy, that is I42.8. The patient also has pulmonary hypertension, likely group 2. Because there is a likely, we are not super sure, but because this is hospital chart, we can code that unless it is ruled out. So for pulmonary hypertension type 2 or group 2, you type hypertension, pulmonary, and then group 2, the code for that is I27.22, and that risk adjust. What else? The patient has ESRD, that is end-stage renal disease, and 18.6. and 18.6. And then there is also hemodialysis dependence. But in this project, dependence on renal dialysis doesn't risk adjust. So we do not report that. And the patient has diabetic nephropathy or diabetic CKD. We can code E11.22 for that. The patient has type 2 MI. So we can code, MI is myocardial infarction or heart attack. Infarction, myocardial, and then type 2. So the code for that is I21A1. What else? The patient has persistent atrial fibrillation status post-ablation. We will not report that because there was already ablation. Okay, so we only have 6 codes for that. The patient is, yep, that's it. I'm actually looking for hypertension itself, so I can combo code it with heart failure, but I don't see it. So yeah, we can move on. So for the next 30 minutes, it's 4:22 now. So for the next 30 minutes, I will try to finish this. If not, then I will be, that is sad because, it will affect my score or my numbers. But this is a big chart. You cannot just rush to it. Okay. 84. Okay, the patient is ESRD. At the end of this video, guys, coder friends, you will be able to memorize these codes that I am coding. And 18.6 for end-stage renal disease. There are other conditions, but because they are not directly linked, I cannot code them because there is no medication to support the other condition. Yeah, I don't see a medication list here, so yeah, we cannot code other conditions. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, here. Okay, the patient has acute and chronic systolic heart failure, I50.23. The patient has non-ischemic cardiomyopathy, I42.8. We already indexed pulmonary hypertension group 2, I27.22. The patient is diabetic, 11.22. There is atrial fibrillation, but there was an ablation, type 2 MI, A2181. And I forgot to put an 18.6 for end-stage renal disease. Bigger chart is okay. I mean, it's okay. It's just like, because it's a big chart, you mostly remember all the codes that you already put in. So you will be quick to do it, but then it is a big chart, so it will still take a long time to finish. So again, N18.6. Let's go to the surgical history if there is like transplantation or amputation, but there is none. And there is also no medication list. Okay, ooh, I made it to 100-pager, 102. So let's go and find other one. Okay, I made it to page 124, so that's good. Okay, this is another hospital chart. So yeah, it will take a long time. Okay, here in the assessment, the patient has acute hypoxic respiratory failure. That is J96001. Excuse me. The patient has ESRD, end-stage renal disease, N18.6. The patient has sepsis, A41.9. The patient has acute on chronic systolic heart failure, I50.23, secondary to a non-ischemic cardiomyopathy, I42.8, in group 2 of pulmonary hypertension, I2722. We have 6 codes so far. Let's continue. The patient also has acute encephalopathy. Let's index that, encephalopathy. No, that does not risk adjust. The patient has AFib but status ablation, status post ablation, NSVT but status post ICD. Okay, I don't see other conditions. Let's move on. There is diabetes, but there is diabetes and there is hypertension, but they are in the past medical history. I have to find an outpatient list of medications so I can combo code it. Okay, so I found one. So the outpatient medication of this patient actually has there is no medication for diabetes. But let's look for a medication for hypertension. No, there's none. There is a list of outpatient medication, but there is no medication that supports diabetes and hypertension. So yeah, we cannot combo code them to heart failure and what do you call that? ESRD. Okay, that's it. We only have 6 conditions. Let's move on to the next encounter. I wish you can see how tiny the font of this chart. It's so funny. Okay. Okay, here we have acute hypoxic respiratory failure. Ischemic cardiomyopathy is actually I25.5, and I25.5 does not risk adjust. I50.20, chronic systolic heart failure. Group 2 pulmonary hypertension is I2722. ESRD and 18.6. Suspected congestive hepatopathy. How do you say that? Let's what is that? I don't see it. Okay, congestive hepatopathy does not risk adjust. Okay, we have 4 conditions. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. I wish this was a hospital chart. I mean, the guideline that I will follow is a hospital chart, so I don't have to code each encounter, but the guidelines, the direction that I'm following now is, it is a hospital chart, but the guideline that you're gonna follow is CR chart, like I don't know how to explain it, but I have to code this individually. So we have here an 18.6 azotemia. I don't know what is that. Yep, that does not. Oh, abnormal findings of blood chemistry that does not risk adjust. Secondary hyperparathyroidism, I think it's N2581, but let's make sure. Hyperparathyroidism, secondary. Yeah, that is N2581, and that risk adjust. Hypertension in CKD, that is I12.0, because the CKD is N18.6, and combo coded with hypertension, that will give us I12.0. I saw heart failure. I saw diabetes. Let's go to the list, medication list. If there's a medication list, we can combo code them. There's none. So we have 3 conditions. Let's move on. I feel like I've already coded a lot on this chart, but then I'm still in page 140. So this will take a long time, and we only have like 28 minutes left. Okay, we have acute hypoxic respiratory, J9601, ESRD, and 18.6. Concern for sepsis, A41.9. This is not yet ruled out, so we can code that cardiogenic shock. That is R57.0. Acute and chronic systolic heart failure, I50.23, I42.8, I27.22, hypercoagulopathy, hypercoagulopathy is G68.59. We have 8 conditions so far. AFib cannot be. Diabetes, that is E11.22. Excuse me. Okay, that's it. There are 7 conditions there. Let's move on. If I will make it halfway before my time, before my overtime is done, I'll be so happy. Okay, here we have J9601, I5020, I2722, I21.4, and 18.6. That's it. We have 5 conditions there. Let's move on. This is because for example, I was in the hospital for, what date is it today? 3/24. And then for that day alone, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 encounters. I have 4 doctor visits. So for that day, the same date, I coded 4 different encounters. So this will take a while. Okay, let's continue. We have acute hypoxic J9601 and 18.6. Shock. Oh, shock is R57.9 and that risk adjust. And 2581. I cannot tell you every conditions now. I will just be coding real fast. I mean, I will just be telling the codes while typing because it will take a long time. And my focus is coding everything here. I12.0. I see a lot of hyperphosphatemia, and I know that does not risk adjust. Yep, that risk adjust to other project, but not in this project. Okay, let's move on. I42.8 and 18.6, I50.9, I47.20, respiratory failure J9690. It was not, this is not specified as acute or chronic, so I'll just do J9690. Does it risk adjust? Yes, it does. And we have I21.4. I mean I21.9. There's also shock, or what is shock? Let's type that again. R57.9. Acute and chronic systolic heart failure, I5023. Pulmonary hypertension, I5722. We have 8 conditions so far. I don't see hypertension or diabetes yet. They are here, but they do not have medication to support it. Okay, we have 8. Now let's move on to the next one. Nope, there's nothing. I don't see others. Okay, here, let's continue. We only have like 20 minutes left, I think. It's 4:40, so I will not be able to finish this. We have an 18.6. I50.20. J9601. I50.23 actually. I2722, I21.4. I4891. D68.9. Is it D68 or D? Wait a second. Hyper co-op D68.69. Oh, we cannot code AFib. It's already, there's already ablation. DM, okay, 1122. Chronic lumbar pain. Pain is not. Okay, let's move on. Ah, this is killing me. I really don't like finishing the day with having an in progress chart. I want my chart to be done so I can start a new one the next day, but this is inevitable. So mixed shock. Is there a mixed shock? No, so let's just do R57.9 and 18.6, I21.4. Yeah, that's like 6 conditions. Okay, for the last 10 minutes, I think I will try to finish 2 small charts just to make up with the chart, my numbers. We have N18.6, I50.9. Oh, I13.2, E1122, chain 86 is oopsie. Oh my gosh, it says right here it's getting it has like my camera is dying. You can do it. You can do it. 1122. Where's this? And then E11 I13.2. We have J96001. We have N2581. There is AFib. There is AFib, but it was not said here that it is ablated, so I can code I4891 for that. Okay, next move on. If my camera will die or something, it's not my fault. I tried my best. Okay, we have like 15 minutes left. Okay, here I21.9. Oh no, let me double check that. Acute myocardial injury. Myocardial. No, yeah, I5A. We do not call that. Acute on chronic systolic heart failure, I5023, I42.8, I48.0, I2722, and 18.6, R57.9. Let's move on to the next encounter. I'm not even close to 200. I mean to page 200. N18.6, I50.20, R57.9, J8690. There are some cases that when the what do you call that? When the patient is in the hospital for a while, I feel like something like this, the patient will die. My last, the last encounter is the death. That's sad, but I'm used to like coding. We have J9601, I5023, I42.8, I2722, I21.4, D6869, E1122. J9601, I5020, I2722, R57.9, I21.4, and 18.6. That's it. And 18.6 and 2581, I12.0, yeah, there is no medication, so I cannot combo code that with the other condition that are in the problem list. Okay, here we go. And 18.6, I5023, I42.8, I2722, I21.4, D6869, E1122. I'm page 180. I think my goal is to just make it to 200, I think. But I need to code other charts as well, so my numbers will be okay. J9601, I5020, I2722, R57.9, I21.4, and 18.6. That's it. There is a past medical history here, but there is no medication except for N18.6. Oh my gosh, we're 10 minutes away to be done. All right, after this one encounter, I will pivot to smaller charts just to add more to my numbers, to balance my numbers, I think. Okay, we made it to page 188, but we cannot go more. Let's go code some smaller charts. Okay. What are we doing? Is it still recording? It is still recording. 10 more minutes. Please stay up. Okay, they match. Okay, what's here? Okay, the patient has psoriatic arthritis. I think that is L40.50, arthritis, psoriatic. Yes, it's L40.50 and that risk adjust. The patient also has plaque psoriasis. They said it's psoriasis, not something psoriasis. That's so Filipino. Okay, L40.0 does not risk adjust. We have a 1 code. Okay, we only have one code to report here, and that is the psoriatic arthritis, L40.50. Let's move on to the next encounter. The same psoriatic arthritis, L40.50. Let's read more. Maybe we can find other conditions that are just hiding. But they are just really talking about the psoriatic arthritis. There's no medical history list or something here. If I finish 2 charts before my overtime ends, then I'll go back to that 500-pager chart and try to finish at least some. So tomorrow it will not be too much. Again, on the third encounter, it's the same psoriatic arthritis. I'm trying to look for other conditions here, but that's the only condition that this patient has. So, yeah. There's no surgical history that's saying amputation or transplantation. We are 7 minutes away. This will be this is a very easy upload tonight. I will just upload this tonight because there's nothing to edit here. Okay, the patient has psoriatic arthritis and it's taking its medication, so we can methotrexate and prednisone. Yeah. So we can support that. There's no other condition that the patient has here. Psoriatic arthritis, L40.50. Okay, that's the last encounter. I just have to make sure that there is like a signature, or if there's none, then I can put no signature. Okay, there's no signature here. So this patient alone has, this chart has 4 encounters. Okay, I think this is the last small chart that I will do before going back to the big one. We are 6 minutes away. The name and the date of birth matched. Okay, here we go. Let's start. The patient has COPD and severe major depression with psychotic features, that is F32.3, I believe, and that risk adjust, and we're just going to find out if there is a medication to support it, and there is, and the COPD is also supported. Let's just make sure if the medication list is reviewed. Okay. So we have J44.9, and what was the other condition? Oh yeah, F32.3, major depressive disorder, severe with psychotic features. Okay, let's just make sure. There's no surgical history. It's so sunny now here in California. Okay, we have two conditions to report, and that those are COPD J44.9 and F32.3, depression severe with psychotic features. Oh my gosh, we're 3 minutes away from finishing. Okay, we are done with that chart. And let's go to the big chart. We still have 30 minutes to 2 minutes. We can at least finish one encounter. Okay, here. Oh, I cannot really make it to page 200. I am now page 188. We have to accept that this will still be here until tomorrow, okay? I-50.23, I-42.8, I-48.0, I-27.22, and 18.6. Do we have other conditions? Okay, we cannot code AFib because there was an ablation. Okay, that's it. Okay. All right, that's it, you friends. So it's 4:59. I have to stop. In total, I have finished 42 charts today. And that's so sad that we have to go back tomorrow to finish that big chart. Okay, now that we're done coding, it's time to just put our time in. How long did we work today? Let's report our time. So that's it, you guys. We are done working overtime. For me, it went by so fast because afternoon feels like faster. The time is faster during the afternoon. What time is it? 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Oops, where is it? Okay, we are done. It's 5 p.m. and it's time to turn off our computer. And that's it, you guys. Oh, I didn't know that the sun is shining too much on my face. Yay! We are done. 1 hour overtime is finally done, and the computer is turned off. Congratulations, you went to work with me overtime today, and I'm so happy that you're here with me, guys. And next week, you will be seeing a week of a life of a medical coder. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions or whatever things or what kind of content you want to see next time, please let me know. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.